Oh, did you take out the other USB?
Yeah, it's already.
It's on there. That would be good.
Alright. The purpose of my presentation is just to inform you about the origin and some of the changes that have occurred in football throughout its history. First of all, talk about what is football. Well, according to Rockford Ravens, Pop Warner Association, SWAFA Wolves, and Quincy Youth Football, and also Daughtry and Wilson, the writers of First and 10, football is a full contact sport that is two teams at a time, 11 players on a field at a time, and the object is to outscore your opponent. The first game of football ever played was actually on November 6th of 1869. It was between Rutgers and Princeton, and this game was more like rugby and a combination of rugby and soccer, where there's only 1 point per score. So Rutgers ended up overtaking Princeton 6-4. This led to the formation of the first college league. It gained interest when Princeton took on Yale, and then it sort of escalated. So on November 23rd, 1876, the first league was created in college, and the 4 universities present there were Columbia, Harvard, Princeton, and Yale. And next is this person, Walter Camp. He was captain of Yale's football team, and he's considered the father of American football because he wrote many of the rules that are still used today, such as he created the 4 downs, the line of scrimmage, created the quarterback position, and he created the center position, forward pass. He standardized the scoring system. He increased the value of a touchdown to 6 points, and he decreased the value of field goals to 3. But his most notable rule was in 1880. He changed the number of players who got on the field from 15 to 11. So that's the most notable one. Next we have the league. The league was actually the first professional league was in 1920. It was called the American Professional Football, so it was known as. The first game that they actually played was on October 3rd of 1920, and they played in Dayton, Ohio. The Ohio Triangles defeated Columbus Panhandles 14-10. They decided 2 years later to change the name to what is currently used today as the National Football League. And then in 1960, National Football League had some competitors rise in the form of the American Football League. So they had a little competition there. And then they merged into one league where they kept the name National Football League. And that's what we have today, the AFC and the NFC. And because they merged, they needed some form of championship to determine who was better. So that came about the creation of the first Super Bowl, which was held in 1967. It was originally called the AFL and NFL Championship Game, but it eventually changed to the Super Bowl after that's what the media ran with during the time. So that's how media cut a little influence on the name. Another thing that's changed is money and the salaries. And William Pudge Heffelfinger is the first, according to the Football Hall of Fame, he is the very first professional football player ever. He was paid $500 to play after one game. If you count for inflation today, that's close to almost $12,000 for one game. But in contrast today, I know you use Peyton Manning's a little unfair because he's highly paid, but Peyton Manning on average makes almost $900,000 a game. So that's a big difference in salary-wise. Another thing there, guys, is that now there are actually 3 women football leagues in America. Currently, we have the Independent Women's Football League, which was founded in the spring. It was founded in the year 2000, and currently they have 51 teams. next one is the Women's Football Alliance. Was founded recently in the spring of 2009. They currently have 36 teams. And then the Women's Spring Football League, this is actually their first season, and they currently have 7 teams. I couldn't find any other recent older information, so I'm not sure exactly when the first Women's Football League was made, but these are the 3 currently in the United States. Alright, and cheerleaders. According to Keith Bean, he writes articles for Ezine articles. In 1884, that was the very first cheer, that was a football cheer ever recorded and documented, and this was by Princeton University. It was in 1903 was the very first cheerleading squad, and I think it's notable to note that it was an all-male squad, and it was actually a fraternity in Minnesota. It was the first cheerleading fraternity ever established, and it wasn't until the 1920s that women actually started cheerleading and taking a bigger role in that. And now women are typically the cheerleaders for the most part, except for college. According to Keith Bean, now college is basically 50% male cheerleaders are in college. And I have my bibliography.